guys, and welcome back. As you can tell, it is just two of us today. That's probably how it's going to be from now on. We might see Grace once in a while, but and we've also decided to change what we're going to call ourselves. It's not going to be Rooted and Real anymore. We decided that wasn't really us.
Yeah.
And we're going to do Front Porch Faith because that kind of feels more like us.
And you're sitting on my front porch right now, so.
Anyways, this is kind of just a video to get to know us, kind of what makes us who we are and everything like that, and why we decided to do this and what this means to us. So,
yep. And how we met.
Yeah.
And all the good stuff. You get all the tea today.
So anyway, my name's Kezia.
And I'm Katie.
And
we're the KK clan.
No. So, K squared, probably not the other one. No. We would get canceled for that. Anyway, we actually met
Flip that out.
last year. Like our 1 year friend-iversary was literally
the first weekend of June.
Yeah.
We met at a garage sale.
Oddly enough.
Through a mutual friend.
Yes.
We just so happened to be at her place at the same time.
Yes.
And she had told me a lot about Kezia. I don't know, has she told you anything about me?
She had briefly talked about you.
Okay.
She's more talked about Paul than you.
Excuse me. Paul's my husband, by the way.
So our friend was telling me, she's a little bit older lady, kind of invited us both to her Bible study, which is, we'll get into that. But so she was more or less telling me that there was a young man who she had come to her church who was telling her about his girlfriend, fiance. They weren't, I don't think they weren't fiancés at the time, but maybe they were.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, they were.
We were. Yes, we were.
Anyway, and then she was like, yeah, and his fiance and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, we met at the garage sales, kind of blip-blopped around and followed each other to the different garage sales.
Yep, where Kezia got my number, and then she texted me wanting to have lunch sometime.
I think it was after one of the
Bible studies,
yeah.
No, we hadn't been to the same Bible study yet. We hadn't been there at the same time, And then we decided we were going to go out for lunch, but then Joe wanted to hang out that day because he had off.
Yes, Joe is my husband.
So then she canceled on me. Boo-hoo. Yeah. And then Joe was like, well, if you want to go have lunch with her, you can. Well, then it was too late. Because I didn't like her. Just kidding. Ouch. No. So we didn't have lunch that day, but I think
we did later. Later.
A couple Bible studies later.
Yes.
It finally worked out. And we ate Mexican. It was really good.
Yes, when there was a good Mexican place there. It's not good anymore. Anyway, that is the beginning of our bubbly friendship that has now grown, and I think God has definitely blessed me with her in my life because
same.
Lord knows I needed it.
And in the meantime, our husbands have also become friends.
Oh yes, the best of friends, which they will deny, I'm sure, but
maybe because they're men, but yes.
Anyway.
And now we have weekly game night suppers at each other's houses. So, yeah, we get kind of tired of each other.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know why I'm sitting here right now.
I know. It's kind of like, get away from me. Ew.
Anyway, so that's kind of how our story of how we met and became friends. And we had kind of talked, a couple months ago. I had kind of brought up the idea of I wanted to start a podcast. Just kind of out of the blue.
No, didn't I mention that?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned it.
Yep.
And then I agreed with her because...
Very enthusiastically.
I don't know, I kind of just felt like it would be fun to kind of get, another way to spread Jesus' word. Which, I mean, we both make TikTok videos. I have something called Truthful Thursday, which I do a Bible verse and short explanation every Thursday. And then she does...
I used to do mini Bible studies on the regular, but since becoming pregnant, I have kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And I have the intention to start it back up again, but it's just, I haven't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So anyway, I was like, yeah, that'd be a good way to get get the word out,
Mm-hmm.
and it would also, give us more time to hang out.
Exactly. And we can just chatter like the friends we are. Like we kind of do anyways.
Do it anyway, so.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where this became.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of like the meaning behind our name really is that front porch faith. I think we talked about this last night, is like we want our faith just be out in the open, like on the front porch. We're not trying to hide or anything, and it's a place where people are welcome to come, sit down, have a cup of iced tea, and we can just chat.
Yeah,
it's just real and realistic.
I kind of thought of it first.
Oh yeah, she did.
Because she said she wanted something country, but also like something that
Christian as well, but felt like us.
Yeah. And I have Southern roots. I'm not directly from the South, but I have a lot of family in the South. Most of my family is from the South. And when I say South, I mean like South. Like Louisiana, Texas, Florida, Mississippi. Anyway, where they have front porches everywhere. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times down south, if you want something known in your little community, you put it on the front porch. So that's kind of where the idea came to me from, because both of us, I've definitely was a little bit sheltered about my faith earlier, like previously, but I've definitely been a lot more outgoing about it now. And I kind of wanted to just, I don't know, I was telling her last night, I said, she kind of helped me come out of that shell a little bit, and she was saying that I was doing the same thing with her. It
was funny.
But so the idea kind of came to me so I kind of wanted it to be like, kind of like that same, if we want people to know, we put it on the front porch, because that's the first thing people see when they drive by your house is your front porch. So we kind of wanted this thing to be where we just chat about biblical principles, but how also to relate them to real life, and how we each struggle with certain things in different areas.
Yep.
And that's kind of just where the idea came from. Like, we're inviting, we want to share, but we also kind of we want this to kind of be like your little weekly, like, not reset, but like, we want you to be happy to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, we want it to be uplifting, encouraging, and just
kind of like you're
sitting in the same room with us.
Yeah, and just chatting and having fun with your best friends.
Yeah. That's right. I guess going from there, just to give a little bit of a background of who we are. So I am the youngest of 6. I grew up with 4 older brothers and an older sister. I grew up ranching. My family, they did do horse breeding for a little while, and they transitioned into registered Red Angus. So that's how I grew up. I grew up very much country. Living in town was a bit of an adjustment for me, just because there's no wide open spaces. You can't just sit on your front porch and look at the sunset and stuff. Like, I love my front porch, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not my parents'. The view's very different. But I think of where I was going with that. I grew up in a very Christian home. Like, it's not like I went through any wild phases. And yeah, I found myself training horses like 2 years ago. I met my husband 3 years ago. We kind of had like a relationship in and out. It was a little complicated there for a while. And then I ended up buying this house beginning of last year as a fixer-upper. And then my husband and I got married last summer, and we're now expecting twins. And right up until we found that out, I was working 2 part-time jobs, training horses, helping an elderly couple. The wife has congestive heart failure, so I do housekeeping and stuff. I help him with farming if he needs it. And yeah, but I've really slowed down. Kind of had to, but it's been good. I think I finally learned how to actually rest and recognize when my body needs it, and like it's okay to get it, even if it is telling people no. And Kizzy can attest to this, because I told her no a lot in the first trimester because morning sickness kicked my butt.
I got to the point where I didn't even want to text her and ask her if she wanted to do something because I knew the answer would be no.
It was for a long time.
So before I would text her or anything, I'd be like, how are you feeling today?
I didn't know that was your little trick.
Yeah.
That was sly.
It's kind of funny because her and my other best friend are pregnant at the same time. And yeah. Mm-hmm. So both of them were kind of going through that like little not feeling good thing at the same time. So I was just like,
yeah, poor Kezia.
Okay.
She hung in there, and I'm assuming your other best friend is like doing super good.
Oh yeah, she's fine.
Yep. So
she's good.
But yeah, that's where I am in life. Just, slowing down slowly but surely. But then life will take off here once these twins are born. So that's my season of life. In
contrast to that, I also grew up in a very Christian household, but it was definitely much more, I don't want to say almost for show, but it didn't feel like it was my own. So when I got the chance, to be a little rebel, when I went to college, yeah, you know how she said she didn't do anything rebellious or crazy? Yeah, I did. And anyway, so I also met my husband there, so I don't know if that says anything about that. But we've been together, it'll be 9 years this year.
Wow.
And our 5th year wedding anniversary is in 2 weeks. But anyway, so I did kind of have a little rebel streak that I thankfully came back from, saw the error of my ways, repented, all the stuff. But yeah, I feel like I kind of needed to do that though, because in my mind, my relationship with God wasn't mine, and I needed to find, I needed to come to it on my own and understand it on my own, rather than what everybody else was telling me. So that happened, and I came back to it about 2022, really started coming back to it 2024, probably. So a couple of years now. I've never stopped believing in God. I just wasn't the best example of a Christian. Anyway, so I currently work in the emergency room of a rural hospital, which is the best job in the world. I love it so much. And I'm also currently in nursing school, so that takes up a good chunk of my time. But I do still have time to come over for our weekly game nights and dinner nights, which are incredible. I do look forward to those days very much so. Yep. Which was why when she was going through her pukey phase in the first trimester, I was kind of upset because
we canceled a lot.
My happiness from those days got taken away.
Hey, so was mine. Trust me, I was going through it worse. I couldn't get out of bed barely for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not sure I can do this. I was like, God, I can't get pregnant again. I was like, I can't do this again. It's much better. I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my side of things where I kind of come from. So she's definitely got more of your deeply rooted.
Yeah, but there was a time when I was 18. I just remembered this while you were talking. I had started working at a retirement home as a waitress and part-time cook. And people would ask me why I believed the things that I believed. And a lot of times the answers were, well, that's just how I was raised. Like, that's what my parents taught me. And I realized that I didn't know why I believed what I believed. Like, I didn't know the reason behind why they taught me that. And then I realized that in order for my faith to be authentic, I had to dig into what the word said and decide if I actually believed it or not. And so one evening I sat down and I wrote out all the things that I supposedly believed. And I went to the word and I found scripture to back up those things. And there are some things I definitely came across that there wasn't a biblical basis for it really. Like tattoos, Christians getting tattoos. That was always a big no-no. Well, you don't really see in scripture where it says like that's wrong and it's a sin. Same with piercings and stuff. And drinking, like I was taught that drinking was wrong, but you know, it's if you get drunk, that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those were like the 3 things that I really found that I was like, okay. But for the majority, I did stick a lot with like what my parents raised me with and stuff. I'm still definitely very conservative because that's definitely how I was raised, was very conservative. But yeah, that's kind of when my faith became my own and stuff. But before that, it was definitely more my parents, I would say. And it's just matured in a way. I know they probably wouldn't necessarily agree with that in some areas, but you know, it's, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So,
yeah. So anyway, if you kind of like sitting and chatting with your friends, then hopefully you'll like this podcast. And really, the only thing is just keep spreading God's word. That's what we want to do.
That's right.
Because that's what we are. We are fishers of men. So, yeah. Anyway.
I guess that's it. And yeah, if you like what you see, stick around. You'll see more of this. And we definitely both bring unique views to different things because of the different ways we were raised and stuff. So it stays interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like, follow our accounts, and
subscribe.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.